So, hey, it's Herb from Lobster Lab Media and Trish the Dish, voiceover professional.
Hello.
So, oh my God, it's a beautiful day. We just wanted to celebrate finally spring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. So I wanted to talk a little bit about our backstory, because like I've known you for like a lobster's age.
Yeah.
And I met you we met each other at a networking event, and I, believe it or not, I was out of my mind. I had just written my lobster and chicken book, and I had lobster hat ears on. And she was brave enough to talk to me, which most people were afraid to talk to me. And right, and it ended up working out pretty good, right?
It did actually. Here we are 10 plus years later, or about 10 years, maybe 11 years later.
Well,
and
you, like,
yeah.
I introduced you to my friend John Amadeo at a recording studio.
That's
well, I mean, what are the
true,
freaking chances of that, right?
I know, yeah. He was like 15 minutes away from me, and he wound up actually being one of my really good clients and a friend also. So I'm still in touch with him also. So that's been cool.
So yeah, I mean, it's just like you never know. You kind of got to go with the flow of the universe, and even if something seems like, not everybody has lobster ears for sure, or lobster hats, but you never know. You don't know until you get to know somebody. Like, I think I had my little business card that even said like recording studio on it. You're like, you have a recording studio? I mean, I had a card that said that.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, I had like, this is kind of a cool idea. Is I saw this years ago where a friend had all their interest and all their stuff on one card. So it said recording studio on my card, and you're like, you have a recording studio? I'm like, no, my friend John does, and that's how that'll happen. But it's because I had it on the card that it piqued her interest that she asked about it.
Yeah.
So how long you've been in VO now as a professional? How many years?
I've been doing it full time for almost 14 years.
Okay.
Since 2004.
Right. And you love it, right?
I started in like 99 or 2000, like kind of, did it part time for like 4 or 5 years. So, and what?
And you love it, right? I mean, you love VO because it's your own business. You get to work from your house, which is, I mean, occasionally you got to go to the city or whatever, but mostly you get to do a lot of stuff in your own studio.
Yeah, and I was in corporate America for 10 years, so I know what it's like to sit in a cubicle and be at a place that you don't want to be.
Fun.
The majority of your time is spent doing something you don't really want to do,
right.
and that was something that that hit home with me, and I was like, I'm not gonna keep doing this. I am not a morning person. So
you're not. Oh, that was the other thing. When again, early on knowing you were the voice of the Taj Mahal. So I was at the Taj Mahal when it was the Taj Mahal down in AC, and I'm walking through the lobby with my friend, and I hear her voice, and I'm like, I know that voice. I'm like, how do I know that voice? I'm like, oh yeah, she told me that she was the voice of the Taj Mahal. I'm like, that's really cool. Like, I know like the voice of the Taj Mahal.
Was it on the boardwalk?
It was in the Taj Mahal.
Oh, okay.
Like it was one of the announcements. I was like, it was the weirdest thing, because I'm like, I know that voice. I'm like, I know that voice. I'm like, that voice I know. And then I'm like, how do I know that voice? And then I remembered that you had told me that. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. That gig lasted like 10 years probably, at least.
Yeah,
maybe closer to 12.
And the other thing I want to talk about is your name. So before you did the VO stuff, you're like a DJ chick. That's where you have like a handle, right? Isn't that where you originally got the Trish the Dish? Was like a radio handle? No.
Nope.
Oh, so I don't know this story.
But no, actually, Trish the Dish. It's kind of a funny. It's I don't know. I mean, I had several people calling, like from college probably, and people were like, Trish the Dish, and it was just something that was fun and rhymed. And so after, this is gonna sound horrible. Okay. After I did the branding and got actually used the name in my logo and whatnot, I found out that Trish the Dish was a character, and I had seen the other movies, the Kevin Smith movies, but apparently there was a movie called Mallrats.
Yeah, that was a real famous movie, right?
And there was a
Trish the Dish
character, yes, and she was.
Was she like you?
A whore. But
in the movie.
Yeah, in the movie, she had a very promiscuous
personality.
Character.
Right.
Yeah. So it was kind of too late.
I didn't hear this backstory.
It was kind of too late to change everything, and I just hoped that a majority of people didn't see the movie.
Oh my God.
And that they just let it go. But anyway, so I've made the name my own, I think.
And it really fits you. You're like the purple hair Trish the Dish girl. So what would you like to tell maybe the audience, if, I don't know, just a little bit about VO, like the good, the bad, you know, I don't know, like what would you say about it? You know, I mean, I know you love it. Not everybody, probably everyone's like, that's the dream career, but it's work. It's like anything is work.
Sure. It's freelancing, so it's really tough to, you know, like the competition is fierce, and you know, there is no breaking into the business anymore. You know, if you get one job, you can just get one job for the rest of your life, and that's it. You know, it's like if you don't go after it, and you really have to put in the work. A lot of people, you know, think that their voice has actually their voice quality has a lot to do with it, or if they sound like they should have done DJ work, that they're going to be really good. But there's a million people out there with those really low, sexy voices and they've all been told you should be in the radio,
right?
Yeah, or voiceover. So, it's not really that simple. Unfortunately, you need to learn acting skills,
marketing,
a ton of marketing. But you need, I mean, before, a lot of people love to just run out and buy a microphone.
Right.
And you need to spend the money first on training. There's some very specific ways to do performance, and you know, you have to learn how to read copy, and like, you know, again, it's acting, so you know, you have to learn the different ways of reading. Like there's like, if you're narrating an internal, you know, corporate video that, you know, a couple of minutes long, that it's going to sound different, and the style and the energy behind it is going to be a little different than if you were to do a 15 to 30 second commercial. So there's so many nuances, and it is tough, and I'm not trying to discourage anybody, but a lot of people do think that they can just get into the business and they don't want to put any work into it. It's a long road to making your money back, and you know, if you know, and investing is the only way to go. If you don't have any capital to start, I wouldn't recommend it's the business to get into, where you think you're going to make a bunch of money. You know, a lot of people for some reason think that it's a get rich quick scheme.
Yeah. Well, nothing is there. Really, the only thing that is the lottery, and it's like 800 million to 1.
Yeah.
You know, so even that is not. You know, anything that is anything of any value requires work.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing that's coming to mind intuitively is you hit that sweet spot between the whatever and the digital. You kind of landed.
Yes,
So talk a little bit about that.
My timing. Oh yeah,
Her timing was
question.
perfect.
My timing was pretty perfect. I left my business, or left the last day job, my accounting job in corporate accounting, and again in 2004, which is right around the time things were transitioning from CDs, which we used to have. Well, first they started out on cassette tapes back in, you know, when cassettes were a thing, and that's what you put your demo on. Yeah, that's what you put your, you know, basically your demo is the voice talent's audio. It's like an audio resume. It's our version of a resume. And so it's just like 1 minute of clips of different things that you've either done or that you can do, and it's like different levels of energy, and you know, so it's just like a montage of your work or your abilities. And so that you need to, when you send them out to people, it used to be that it started out on cassette tapes. Things were kind of transitioning from CD, because I used to have CDs made, and used to put your demo on the CD, and then you had to mail them out to people, and those suckers were expensive. And that was the only way to
get in front of
people
right?
know and it'd be like, you'd call up a studio and go, hi, do you accept voiceover demos? And then it'd be like, sure, or screw you. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think I ever got that. But if they said yes, then you'd ask them for their address, their actual mailing address. And you had to package it up pretty and put it in the mail and wait a couple days before they got it, usually. So once things transitioned to the digital world on online, and I had people, it was so funny because I lived in the boonies in 2004, but I had already left my last day job, so I had to have a computer in my apartment at the time, and a lot of people still didn't. And I was going into this marketing group in New York City, and which is actually how I booked the Trump Taj Mahal gig. And I had people in the group that lived in the city that were giving me their CD to bring back to New Jersey with me. and turn it into an MP3 for them.
Wow.
So that they could start emailing it.
Wow.
So because there was no way of doing that at the time, and so people handed me their actual, you know, hard copy CDs, and I would put it into the computer and rip the track and create an MP3 and email it to them.
Wow.
And so yeah,
That's
it
interesting.
was like, and people were just starting to kind of notice the industry. The voiceover business was. The equipment was still expensive, and
yeah, the equipment went right down, right? The prices.
Yeah, but some people already had home studios at that point. But it was right around the time. I think I was lucky, definitely lucky on that.
Well, we know that we create our own luck with effort, right? But if you're out there and you get in front of stuff, you're going to create what's called good luck by just taking action and doing the right thing, right?
Right. Well, that's true. It's preparation meets opportunity.
Exactly.
Also, if I wasn't ready, you know, talent level wise, then it probably wouldn't have worked either. But I had a great demo, and you know, and I just started sending it out. I remember doing it on my lunch break. That's kind of actually how I built my business before I went full time for voiceovers. When I was still working in corporate America, I would spend my hour lunch break making phone calls to studios around the country.
Wow. And asking, that's dedication.
And then
right?
and then I would actually I would have the demos at work with me, and I would have them all packaged up, and as they said yes, as the phone calls said yes, we take demos, I would write the address, and I worked in a pretty large corporation at the time, and so I brought them down to the mailroom with postage. I didn't make,
yeah, you didn't put it on your boss's dime.
I paid for it. But yeah, so I brought all the stamps and all the packaging with me, and just wrote the addresses and brought it down to the mailroom and let them send it out. And things really started to pick up. And when things did start to pick up, because I would have to record after hours, so there came a point where I was like, I need to be available during the day. And I couldn't do that when I had a day job.
Yep.
So that's when I decided to make the leap, and you know.
And it wasn't easy, right? I mean, nothing's easy, right?
I made $13,000 the first year.
Yeah.
And that I was living on ramen, and you know, and I was actually, my parents were living nearby, and so I was going over there a couple times a week for
food,
dinner.
so you were able to survive. But that's what it takes, you guys. To be an entrepreneur, it takes something. It doesn't just happen. You got to go out there and really make it happen, and that's everything in life. You know, nothing is easy. You know, so if you want something you have passion about, you know, go for it. Go for your dreams. So you have the glasses on today, so you kind of look a little like a librarian, which is kind of cool.
I never wear these in public too. But
I never wear these in public either. You know, my orange ones. So how do they get in touch with you? How do people find you? You know?
Well, they can get me on my website. That's probably the easiest way to go. Voiceovers, plural, voiceovers. by Trish.com.
You can see the demos and all the other stuff. You know, we do a lot of branding and marketing, mostly in the warmer weather now that it's spring again, but we were doing at least one Facebook Live or two Facebook Lives a month in the warm weather. Yeah. So again, people have to know who you are. And you've talked about it before, you know, don't just talk about VO or just don't talk about my author stuff. You want to basically interact with people and provide good content. Like if you're doing a Facebook Live and you're talking about why your egg sandwich is runny, no one really cares, you know. But if you
some people do, if they also have a
maybe if they have chickens, but who does, you know? So that's it. Anything else you want to say, or you're pretty much good?
No, I'm just really happy. I mean, it was 40 degrees yesterday.
Oh my God, today's so gorgeous out.
Yeah, so we're going the opposite. Like there was a couple of weeks ago where it was 80 degrees on a Friday. I was in a sundress, driving around in my convertible. It was awesome. And the next day, it literally dropped 40 degrees. And we've actually had some flurries since then.
But not today. Today's like 70. All right, you guys. Well, thank you. Thanks for listening. Herb Palmer, Lobster Lab Media, Trish the Dish, Voiceovers by Trish. She's Trish is actually helping me with the editing. We did a really cool crazy road trip to Michigan.
As we go has been a very interesting
She's amazing.
process.
She wore the glasses because she's got a giant brain underneath those glasses.
It's not size that matters.
That's what they say. Thanks, you guys. Have an awesome day. Tell them have an awesome day.
Have an awesome day.
Let's you know what? One more quick thing. One more thing. So let them hear that great voice. Do like one sentence.
This is my professional. This is my.
So you sound just
voice.
there. You go. There, it just kicked in, right?
Yeah.
It just kicked in there. I know that voice.
Yeah.
All right, you're awesome. Okay, guys. Thanks. Have an awesome day.
Okay.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.